Just don't tell anyone I think The Godfather sucks. Oh crap, we're live.
We'll do it live.
Do it.
Dude, it's not the people watching the live you got to worry about. If that's what.
Speaking of people watching stuff live,
Where are we going with
in the
this?
group chat real quick.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
It's like, where is he going with this?
We got Slasher Fred in the audience already.
Slasher.
Oh, yeah, let's go. Slasher Fred.
Fred.
What is up? How are you doing? We are making an offer that we can't refuse, or that you can't refuse, actually.
It's so good we can't refuse it either.
Yeah.
It's that good.
It just works.
You actually sound like a woodwind for a second. That was pretty good.
Thank you. Can I get back to? Okay.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and do the intro real quick.
Freaking go.
Let's freaking go. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to the Banter Fodder podcast. I'm your host, Drew, joined by my co-host, Michael Hoover Dam, finally again. And
Almost
Jimmy
forgot
Jam.
my name, didn't you?
Yeah. And Jimmy
84
Jam, the
years.
Walker, Texas Ranger, man. But yeah, it's good to have you back, Michael. We really missed you last week. It's a great time.
It's good to be back. It is good to be back. Yeah, last week, just a whole bunch of things in life, but my wife's birthday was also last week, and it was just I needed to be husband, and we had a good time, and but I wasn't missing the 50th episode.
Yes, sir.
You'd be out of the podcast if you did.
Yeah. I mean, what am I even doing?
Oh man, it's crazy that we're finally at our 50th episode, and it happened to be on April 1st.
We're ending the podcast.
Yep.
I know we've been doing this for a while now, but it actually doesn't really seem like we've been doing it that long. Is that like
it feels long and short all at the same time?
Exactly.
Yeah, like being with you guys feels like really long time, but it's kind of a bore.
Same to you, actually. And I, in addition to what you said, feel that way to you as well.
Very, very deep cut Office reference. I love it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So yeah, guys, let's jump into our one highlight of the week.
Oh no,
you guys been watching?
I'm not prepared.
I hate this segment.
You hate it only now because you have to limit yourself. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Last week he didn't have to limit himself though because you weren't there. So.
Okay, so I told you guys that I would watch Warrior this week. Guess what didn't happen? I'm still gonna watch it. But when I finally had time to sit down and watch a movie, I actually needed to watch this one for this week. So I couldn't miss this one. But I did watch. I've been watching. Don't tell Mesker. I've actually started ahead of him. I started Andor again. And God, you guys, Andor's so good.
Yes.
I am so excited. I'm getting ready for April it's this month now, but I'm getting ready for season 2. And I am so excited because I remembered it being amazing. And I remembered it being like the best thing in a long time that Star Wars had done, but just reliving it has been so, so good. And I've been sprinkling in a few episodes of How I Met Your Mother just for comfort here and there lately. So that's such an easy show to just watch. And it's so fun. So that's what I've been up to.
Nice. I need to really get on my and or watch soon, because the next season comes out in like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah,
maybe
two.
even less.
I think it's like 3 weeks, but yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that'll be plenty of time for me to rewatch it. But I need to do that soon. Jimmy Jam, what's the 1 plus 50 other movies that you watched?
Thank you for that caveat.
Yeah.
I watched Batman Under the Red Hood, which is one of the best DC animated movies. I watched Young Mr. Lincoln, which is a great John Ford. No. See, I'm doing the fast. I didn't stop to dwell on that.
we do it live.
It's live. Young Mr. Lincoln is a really great, beautifully shot John Ford movie. The one I was going to talk about is I watched. I finished the last Western from Sergio Leone, which is a title I just love. It's called Duck, You Sucker.
That's the real title.
Yeah, duck, comma, you sucker, exclamation point.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. The movie itself is good. Unfortunately, it might actually be my least favorite of Sergio Leone's Westerns. Fistful of Dollars is just classic, great Western. A Few Dollars More, I think, is even better. And then The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly and Once Upon a Time in the West are like just transcendently awesome, amazing films that just are like, to me, I feel like Sergio Leone, almost more than anybody, is like the kind of auteur where, you know, like you say like, oh, well, you can tell that this is a so-and-so movie. You can tell this. To me, maybe Sergio Leone more than anybody else, because everything, the cuts, the way he frame shots, every single thing, you feel his direction. You feel him directing moment by moment. Nothing is ever plain, and it's so cool. And those were the last 2 movies he did. He did Once Upon a Time, or sorry, he did The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and then Once Upon a Time in the West. And I'm like, man, he is at the peak of his craft. This felt a bit more restrained and a bit unfocused in ways, and it kind of lacked these great moments that kind of accentuate different sequences throughout his movies. All of them usually have these great moments that you just hold forever after, and this didn't really have that. So it's like, if I were watching this without the expectation of Sergio Leone, I would have been like, that was really good. But like, his last 2 films to me are truly those, like, you cannot mention like all-time greats without talking about these, especially within the genre. And so this one, it feels like he left the Western on not his best note. Again, not that the movie was bad, but just, boy, the 2 movies before this are just unreal. So
I need you to remember this conversation when we ultimately have our Western month, our Western theme month, because I haven't seen any of those. Yeah, like
I'm really so Once Upon a Time in the West is on the short list of movies that I'm really trying to decide if those are going to be my personal April pick. So,
okay. Well, that would be awesome to sneak in a Western there.
You should pick that 100%.
It is.
It's been on my watch list forever, so
it's incredible. It's so incredible.
Yeah.
I did not grow up on Westerns, and I have a whole lot of blind spots in the Western genre. So I think that would be a really fun month for if we could do a Western month sometime.
I'd be so down. I hadn't watched, like, I didn't grow up with Westerns either. Same. And I just got an itch for Westerns 2 or 3 years ago. So I watched like High Noon and The Searchers and Stagecoach and then the Sergio Leone movies. And I'm like, I freaking love Westerns. Holy crap. These are amazing.
And I feel like most of the ones that I've seen are John Wayne ones. And I'm sure he's got some great ones, but the ones that I've seen, I don't even know what they are. They bleed together because I would watch them at my in-laws' house on TV. And when they're on TV, I feel like they're all the same, because they just watch them on loop basically. Yeah. And so I don't know what I've seen really, but I know that I don't love what I've seen, but I know that there's some all-time great ones that I haven't watched. He's
made some samey ones, but The Searchers is like a legit.
Yeah, I've heard that one's amazing. I haven't seen Unforgiven. Obviously that's not John Wayne, but I haven't seen Unforgiven, which I've heard is amazing. I haven't seen is the assassination of Jesse James? Is that that's a Western, right?
Dude,
Yeah,
that movie
and it's
rules.
incredible.
Haven't seen it. So like,
That's
I mean,
Brad Pitt's favorite movie he's ever done.
Oh, interesting. Sorry, I didn't mean to get us sidetracked. I just wanted to bring that up.
It's all good.
We need to do westerns because you were talking about all these, and I was like, yeah, I haven't seen any of those.
Yeah, I would love to do a Western theme month. But yeah, as far as me, I didn't watch too much in the last week. I watched what was it called? One of the Godzilla movies. Godzilla versus, is it Hedorah? Is that how you pronounce it? Okay.
Kong. It's pronounced Kong.
What a weird movie.
No. Yes, it is a weird movie. Didn't love it. I know that it's got some fans, especially in our friend groups. But
Kurt.
Yep, and Stone, and I think they should both be stoned for that opinion. No.
Very nice.
I appreciate the ambition, but it just doesn't work for me. And then I also watched Wicked, finally, which I didn't know it was almost a 3-hour film,
So wicked.
which is ridiculous for a musical, in my opinion. Especially one with a lot of musical numbers. It's
Clearly,
not.
I hasn't seen Sound of Music.
All right. No. I've seen The Sound of Music. It's very different than something like La La Land, where it's got a great pacing to it and it's got like a balance between story and musical numbers. Wicked is just overkill on the musical numbers, in my opinion. The visuals, still hated them. I think the CGI is sometimes great and then sometimes really bad, like Spy Kids 3D level bad. There's a part near the end that literally made me laugh out loud from the visual effects.
Dang,
I like the story within the context of the film itself, but if you look at it from the larger story of The Wizard of Oz, I don't like it. So I don't know. It's not a bad movie, and I understand why people love it so much, but I also think it's not as great as people are saying it is. So I was let down by it, but I also was surprised in other ways too. So I enjoyed it way more than I was expecting, but I'll be there probably day one for the part 2, but
well, that's good. That shows you really did like it. If you feel like you're gonna be there
I
day
enjoyed
one.
it. Like, I had a great time watching it, and I'll definitely be there for the sequel.
Nice.
I think there's just something about the recontextualizing. Did we lose Michael?
Oh no. I guess if you want to just keep talking.
Okay. There's just something about like recontextualizing villains as like the heroes secretly is, I don't know. Like, we've got Cruella, we've got Maleficent, we've got Wicked. We got, like, I'm just kind of over the whole. Did you know that whenever movies like this are billed as like, you thought you knew the full story, but you didn't know, blah blah blah. It's like, no, yeah, it's like, no, I did. I saw the movie, and the only way you're gonna make this work is if you lie about the original movie. Like, there's no recontextualizing the Wicked Witch of the West. If you watch that movie, you're like, she's evil. Like, it's just clear. So.
And again, like I said, in context within the film itself, like, it works as a story. It's not that it's poorly written. It's just, if you put it together with The Wizard of Oz, it just doesn't work, in my opinion. But it is what it is. Just got to accept it for where it's at. Man, well, that sucks that Michael isn't here. April Fools.
Yeah, we did. We kicked him off the podcast.
Yeah.
Messaging him in our chat, see if we can't get him back before we.
Yeah. What about for those of you in the audience right now, at Stone and Slasher Fred. What have you guys been watching lately?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we should invite everybody to do it. Like whenever we start off talking about what we've watched, people put in your most recent viewings in the comments.
He's back.
Never mind. We don't want to hear about it in the comments. We're moving on. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I don't know what happened. It just like kicked me out.
That's weird.
Weird.
Um,
Stupid AI taking over.
Yeah. Gosh. Well, let's go ahead and jump into the Godfather. We're changing the podcast name.
The Godfather.
I don't even know where to begin talking about this film.
General
because
thoughts?
it's yes, general thoughts for sure. But how do you even tackle a movie like this that is so legendary? It's the greatest 0.5 star of all time. Rivals only Love and Thunder.
Some things we don't joke about, Drew.
No, but yeah, let's go ahead and start with our general thoughts. I freaking love this movie. I watched it for the first time about, I don't know, it's been like 4 or 5 years ago now. It was during the heat of COVID for sure. And I can't believe it took me that long to watch it because I know it's, one of the most iconic films of all time. I loved it then, but I think I could only appreciate it even more on this rewatch. And in our group chat, I text you guys and I'm like, I have to rethink my top 10 films because I'd be a fool not to. I would be a fool not to consider this being in the top 10, especially not considering it to be in the top 5 actually. So,
oh shoot.
I'll definitely be reworking my ranking list sometime soon, but I think this is fantastic on every front. You've got incredible writing, you've got incredible performances, great direction from Coppola. I love the editing, especially towards the end with the cross-cutting scene. And the score is just so good. This really is one of those films that has everything. I know we've joked about that a lot lately, but it really does. And
the
it's
best
got
movies, man, they have everything.
It does. But you know what a lot of movies don't have? A lot of movies don't have pasta. And this movie has pasta. And it also has a recipe that I have to try and make sometime. Yeah. The true Italian way.
And it's got cannoli.
Does it have cannoli?
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
Take the cannoli. What a line. What a great
yes,
line.
Sir. Speaking of cannoli, Michael, let's hear your thoughts.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't either.
Man, I saw this movie for the first time probably over 10 years ago now. And I was the same way, Drew. I was like, I know everybody has always told me this is one of the greatest movies ever. And, so I watched it with some friends and immediately I understood why people said that. But it had been seriously like 11 years. And I remember bits and pieces. Obviously, you remember the horse. You remember images and stuff and overall vibes. But it was essentially a first viewing for the most part for me this time around. And my goodness, it's so good. It really is. It really does live up to the hype. There's sometimes when you watch a movie and you're like, I'm afraid this isn't going to live up to the hype. Everybody, like literally everyone has this in the top, whatever best movies of all time. And either this one or the second one. And so, by the way, I do remember liking the second one a little more, but I don't remember why. So we'll see if that holds up when I eventually do watch the second one again. But, I adored this movie. James, I know you're going to talk about it because you were talking about it a little earlier, but the arc of Michael in this movie,
Of you.
it's going to be weird sounding like I'm talking in third person. Michael's arc.
Michael liked this movie.
Michael's arc was so good. Just seeing where he goes from at the very beginning of the movie in the wedding to where he ends up at the end. It's like, it's a Walter White scenario. He gets, he slowly becomes, he slowly goes into darker territory. But you also are just so compelled by why he is doing it. And like, he's, you kind of root for him, or totally root for him, maybe. And I just think it's there's so much to talk about. We will, but I will also say too, Drew, you kind of nailed it. Like, I don't even know where to start talking about this movie. There are some movies, and I've always said this about Empire Strikes Back. To me, the best Star Wars movie. But I don't talk about it as much as a lot of other Star Wars movies, because it's just kind of like, yeah, we all know it's the best, right, guys?
Like, self-evidently amazing.
It's just self-evidently amazing. It doesn't need my defense. It doesn't need me to continually talk about it. It is what it is. I kind of feel like that way about this. And on top of that, I was so engrossed into the story that near the end of the movie, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to talk about this. I've just been so focused. I haven't thought about things. Like, I just am in it, And so we'll see how this conversation goes. Like, at my recollection of details, I just remember thinking near the end, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to talk about this. All I know is that this is amazing. And so we'll see how this goes. But it is phenomenal. So good.
Yeah, I agree. James, what about you?
Well, I had made a post in our group as I was watching it, or as I was getting ready to watch it. For this viewing, I got spaghetti, cannoli. I opened up a bottle of wine, and I had my Godfather socks on. So I was ready. This movie has become just like, it's the first time I watched it, I thought, well, that was great. But I watched it when I was like a teenager for the very first time. I was like, well, that's a great movie. It's cool Mafia stuff. Like, that was, I just thought it was like, that was really cool. That was great. I could tell that was great, and blah, blah, blah.
And it works on that level.
It does. It 100%. It works on the most surface level. Kind of like, have we talked about Green Street Hooligans before? Like,
I feel like
as an episode, but
no, but I feel like you've mentioned it.
Like, that kind of has like it does a similar thing to me, where it's like, it presents a culture that I'm not in, but that makes it just so enticing. Where in that, I'm like, oh, I want to go and be like a soccer hooligan and drink at a pub with these guys, because it just has that. And here you're like, dude, I want to be in the family, like, I want to, like, I want to go and, dude, I'd kiss Don Vito's ring, like that, sure. And so, like, just the surface level coolness of this movie is right there. And then years later, as an adult, watched The Godfather 1 and 2 back to back. And after finishing 1, I had that feeling of like, whoa, okay, there was something. This is even more than I remembered. So much to where I'm like, I had that feeling of like, all right, I'm about to. I see your comment, Curry. But I was like, I need to start reconsidering like my list. Like, this really is starting to climb. And then 2 or 3 years ago, at that point, I had already been like, okay, I think this is really one of my favorites. But 2 or 3 years ago, I got to go see it in the theater. And that was the viewing that, like, it branded it on like the spot on my list. Like, Lord of the Rings is always going to be my personal favorite ever. Just it just speaks to me in a lot of ways. Just, that's never going to be unseated for a host of reasons. But I think the Godfather is permanently like branded in the number 2 spot, and also what I consider to just be the greatest film ever. Like I think it's Lord of the Rings. You might be able to like pick things out here and there, and just things that things that may not work for everybody, and
Watch
all
your
that.
tongue.
Oh no! It's all it all works for me. They're perfect in my eyes. But I just think that there's there's just a greatness to me to Godfather that's like just it is the greatest, most perfect movie. And that theater viewing was just, this is to me the greatest film ending ever. Like the last 2 minutes of this movie is like the greatest. And you could tell that I could tell that I was watching it with a bunch of people in the theater who hadn't seen it, and I loved that experience because he says like, this one time I will let you ask me about my business, and when she asks him and he says no, the girl sitting next to me just goes, no. Like, she was like, just the way his lie hit her, and you just felt the whole theater just kind of like hush, like. And then the music plays and everybody gets up and everybody's like, Michael, that son of a, like, it's just like, you could tell the theater was so into it, and that was an incredible experience. But especially after that viewing, I was like, no, to me, this is my pick for the greatest. This is just flawless. It's not only for me, is there nothing to critique, but everything it does as well as you could do doing that thing. Like, it's not just that there aren't problems with Michael's arc. It's that there's nothing that isn't done as well as it could be. There's nothing, like with cinematography, it's always as good looking as it can be to me. Just everything is just done with like almost like an excellence that to me is just like above reproach. So I love this movie a ton.
I was personally hoping for a little more CGI.
Yeah, we could have used a little bit.
Could
more
you imagine if they remade this?
We should have had more volume in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a greater sense of space in the Don's office than I do in like the outside areas and with volume. You just feel.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the house is pretty big though, so
that's true. And to be real too, some people who use the volume do use it well. So it's not like it
True,
doesn't
but
all
picking
look
on the
like,
volume, it's too much fun to pick up.
It is. It doesn't all look like Love and Thunder. It doesn't all look like that. But yeah, it's fun to pick on.
It can be used effectively as a tool, not a replacement.
As a tool. I like the reference to it, by the way, in the oh crap, what's the show called? The one that just started this week.
Studio.
The studio. There was a reference to it in the second episode, and it was so funny.
I really need to start that soon.
Oh, dude, you really do. I forgot. That was the other thing I watched this week. It's so good.
Yeah, nice. I really do gotta watch it. Slasher Fred mentioned a few things that the Godfather, without the Godfather, like we wouldn't have had The Sopranos, we wouldn't have had The Offer, which is biography about making really Godfather.
I've heard it's great.
Yeah, and just a lot of other like Mafia media. The Mafia video games were
the Sopranos video game.
Yeah, like they were all directly inspired by the Godfather. So it's not only is it just like an undisputed great, but it's also been such an influential film, both within like the crime genre and just inspiring a lot of filmmakers in general. I can't tell you how many times I've seen like the top 10 lists from different filmmakers, and almost all of them are going to have The Godfather on there or something like that. So it's crazy how influential it's been. And then you go from that to where Coppola's at now, making Megaflopolis. And
hey,
you cry.
I still need to watch that. I can't really say anything.
I
just
do
love
want
that
to
he-
watch it.
No,
I just love that he used his own money and like sold his. I don't. I
loved
love
his
that he did
Razzie
it.
speech too.
And he went and owned the Razzie, which is
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know.
No,
I'm
for
pretty
sure.
pro like the weird swing this was, even if
Yeah.
I watch it and don't love it.
yeah.
Oh
same.
yeah, no, 100%. I appreciate the ambition and just the fact that he funded everything on his own. I do want to watch it, but the thing is, like, you straight up have to pirate it if you want to watch it. It's just not accessible anywhere. It's not streaming
Wow,
anywhere. You
That
can't
sucks.
buy
I
it
didn't know that.
digitally. You can't rent it digitally. It's all of the like Blu-rays are getting axed, so they're not even
Dude,
gonna
that's
have
gonna
like a
be
physical
rare.
release anymore.
That's gonna be valuable one
And
day.
what a movie for that to happen too.
Yeah, dude,
I
I'm telling
love
you,
it.
man, like, 20, 30, 50 years from now, it's going to be one of those films that's like forgotten, and it's going to be like a cult classic
Yeah.
just because of how weird it is. It's
Dude, it's
probably going to
asking
be
for
like,
a Criterion
oh,
release in like 10 years
yeah,
to
yeah,
kind of rescue it from like complete obscurity.
That'd
yeah.
be incredible.
That would be
honestly.
really cool.
Y'all, I'm looking at cinematography for The Godfather. These are all paintings, basically. Like every single shot is so gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
So carefully composed. The one that I have as my background, and for listeners who can't see it, it's the one whenever they're killing, oh, what's his name? Is it Sonny? No. They're killing the guy who was like out sick the day that the Don gets shot.
Yeah, this
Pauly?
is funny. Pauly.
Paulie.
yeah.
No, Paulie is he's the brother-in-law, right?
No, I thought
No.
that's not Pauly.
Oh, sorry. I was getting confused. Sonny is James Caan. I'm an
Yeah,
idiot.
Sonny's James
Um,
Caan. I love him so much, by the way.
Yeah, he's so good.
He's so
Yeah.
good.
But anyway, it's the shot whenever he asks him to pull over so he can go out and pee, and then they kill him, and they're out in like the wheat field, and then you've got just like the lone Statue of Liberty hovering over the car, and the shot. It's
clean.
It is like
so good.
Gosh, I love it.
Yeah.
Something about the Statue of Liberty being in a shot.
Yeah.
Right, James?
Exactly. It's cinema. Just get it in your flipping shot, and it's cinema.
Even have it upside down.
So especially have it upside down. If they could have just flipped that upside down in this one, this would have gone hard.
Yeah. It would have been even better. And then they could have used AI generated voices, dude.
All right.
Oh,
They didn't use AI generated voices.
I know. I'm just
this is how misinformation is spread.
Hey, it is April 1st, so
Yeah, you can't.
I hate April Fool's Day. I hate it.
Dude, I love it.
I bet you do.
Wait, is that?
Wait, are you serious?
Or are you serious?
This is why I hate it.
Yeah. So let's. Oh, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna. Should we start like just in the wedding sequence?
Yeah. I love. Okay, so that's something that when I was saying this movie has everything, I love how there's this moment. There's a few others. There's the one with Vito and his grandson running around in the garden. Like
such an incredible scene.
Yes. But there's a lot of great moments of downtime in this film. And I love that it starts off, you have Vito talking to the other like mafia members, and then you're cutting between you're cutting between
I believe
that
in America
and the wedding. And I like that it doesn't start with like someone getting like gunned down or something like that. I feel like that would have been like the most logical thing to do for like a mafia film. And I think having it start off with the wedding is a great way of just really showing like how tightly knit this family is, like how much they care about each other. That's really like the like anchor of this story. Like that's what this story is. It's about the family. It's not just like about the crime that they do. And so I really love just starting off with that, starting off with something a little bit more like wholesome. I love the way that they introduce all of the characters, introducing Michael as, you know, he just got back home um, from serving during World War II. Like, it's all around great vibes, and I want to be there at the wedding, you know.
Yeah, they create an environment that you just kind of want to be at least for me, where I'm like, dude, like whenever the grandparents are up there singing their song and everything, and everybody's like laughing in the crowd and stuff, you're like, this is what a great vibe, what a wholesome movie we're in. But like
My big fat Italian wedding.
exactly. So there's a lot of things in this movie that I think like is in contention for the greatest version of that thing. Like, to me, this is one of the greatest opening shots. Like, having the black just doing the music like that, and then you like just have it hearing the "I Believe in America," and then the shot on his face, and that like there's the way I think I brought it up when we talked about Whiplash, but just the orange and blacks in this, of like just all the fleshiness of his face and just the completely black background as it's slowly pulling out, and we don't even have and it's like it's so like mood setting, and it just feels like you're, I don't know, there's something about the way it like establishes that environment. But the I love it. Like, we don't really have context for it. We just open on this story, you know, this guy talking about what has happened to his daughter, and he's telling it basically to us. You know, he's practically looking into the screen, and we're like, what's happening here? And then we get the wider shot, and we see Don Corleone. And I say, even when it doesn't make sense, I work the whole, like, whenever anybody asks me to do anything, you come to me on the day that my daughter's to be married, and you ask me. Gabe, I see your comment. Gabe said, it's all right. I prefer Avengers. Old movies aren't good anyway.
He knows just how to push your buttons.
Yeah. But this opening of him, you know, requesting this favor from Don, and then we learn. I think this wedding sequence, over like this whole wedding sequence is one of the strongest just openings to a film ever, because it is like you said, Drew, it feels like just kind of a good downtime of like we're just chilling, we're just vibing, but it is also like establishing so much. Like, we find out, like, you know, Sicilian can't refuse a request on the day of his daughter's wedding. Like, we're kind of getting just the mechanics of the way the mob works, and we're getting like all of these specific rules and the way some of this happens. And it's a great way to pull in like our primary characters all into one place, setting it at a wedding. And then it's also like by having Michael come in late and bringing with him Kay, who is basically us, the outsider, gives you an opportunity for him to be like, that's my dad, that's Tom Hagen, that's so and so, this is why blah blah blah. And so it's like, it's exposition, but it's perfect exposition, because
it never once felt like exposition in a bad sense at all. Like, or even in a good sense. It didn't even feel like it at all. It was just a conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Natural conversation.
Yeah. And so she's learning about all of this with us, and so we get Sonny, we get Connie, we get Michael, we get Don, and like we get Vito and his vibe, and like what he's like and everything, and we get that sense, that tight knit sense that you were talking about, of like the family all together. It's just so many, like all of the ingredients and all of the characters are just here, and it's just like this great isolated sequence where going forward, like when the kind of narrative proper starts after this, we've got so much information in the bag already. And yeah, I think it's such a, just in terms of what it does for us and for the movie, it's great. And then, just as a sequence, I love the wedding sequence. I love watching it. I love having the kind of Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra character come in and sing a song. And just, it's It's just so great.
Yeah. I always love like weddings that have like a bit of like culture behind them. Like if it's not just like a stereotypical like regular old like American wedding, like it's got
Hey, I believe in America, buddy.
oh yeah. But like like having all the Italian like just like traditions behind the wedding and everything, like like it's fun like just seeing the ways that like different people celebrate their weddings. And I think that's like part of the reason why I'm like, oh dang, I really want to be there, because it's cool. Like it's different culturally than what I'd ever experience at like a wedding.
Yeah, nobody at any of the weddings that I've been at, when somebody takes a picture of them, they don't go and they don't rip the film out and shred it up and stuff. So,
Yeah.
I guess that means I've been at some pretty boring weddings.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it means.
Yes.
Yeah. No mob weddings for you.
Yeah. Dang it.
Yeah.
I do like right off the bat, we see, yes, all of the things y'all are saying, like, yes, happy, great vibes. There's something kind of wholesome feeling about this wedding and all that. But then we do see Don Vito Corleone, in that meeting. I don't remember all the names. You all are going to have to excuse me for forgetting all these names, but that one person who was begging for his help at the beginning, and he played the biggest mind games with him and just manipulated the crap out of him to basically owe him an outstanding favor or whatever. And the way that it happened, I was like, oh, you slide. I mean, it reminded me of Benjamin Linus from Lost. Drew, you at least will. No, I can't remember. James, you seen Lost? No, I can't remember.
I have, but I haven't got to Benjamin Linus.
Okay.
I haven't finished.
Just the ultimate mind games. People he's playing people to make them think things are their idea and stuff like that. And I was just like, right off the bat, you see what this guy, yes, values family, loves his daughter, all this stuff is true, but he is conniving as well. And you really see all of that right away. And then you also see some of the darker side of things. Sonny is kind of right off the bat. He's the guy that can fly off the handle at any point. He's breaking cameras, and also clearly not in a happy marriage whatsoever. Right off the bat, he's doing that, and then having an affair with someone. I think that's him, right? Having an affair with someone, in a bedroom during the wedding. So I was like, man, So that we have the wholesome, but then we have this family is full of characters.
No, yeah.
You've also got that great. You've got the first part of the idea of the offer they can't refuse. And what's great is that's such a famous line now that even me, as somebody who adores this film, forgets how it's used in the storytelling itself. Whenever he first brings up, when he's talking to Kay, and he's like, and then it was a $10,000 offer, blah blah blah. It's like, and then he got him to sign it for $1,000. And she's like, how? He's like, he made him an offer he couldn't refuse. And she presses him further, and she gets that great, terrifying line where he's like, told him if he wouldn't sign it, or he said either his ink or his blood was going to be on that paper. It's like, whoa, man.
With a gun to his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great line. So we know, we have the idea of oh, so that's what it means to make an offer you can't refuse. And then later on, whenever, the singer is like, I need this job and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, how are you going to get that done? I'm going to make him an offer you can't refuse. We're already like, oh, I know what that means.
I know
Michael.
This is not good.
Yeah. And then later on, when Michael has kind of taken his place as the new Don, he says, I'm good. Whenever they're like, Mo Green runs that place, what are you going to do? I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Yep.
It's like, oh no, that's where that's where we are with Michael now. Golly.
Yeah.
It's funny because that line feels like it's so in pop culture that it's like a lot of things are when they're in pop culture, you forget what they where they even really originated. I always bring up the music to
Yeah.
2001: A Space Odyssey, and like it feels like I don't know. It feels like it's almost. It's not a punchline. That's not the word I'm looking for. It feels almost like a caricature of what it actually is in the movie. When you actually watch the movie, it's not like a slogan for them. It's just something that they say, and you know exactly what they mean when they say it, and it's terrifying. And I love that. I love when I watch these old movies and I see, oh, that's what that. Oh no.
Yeah. Also, like when I was rewatching it, before we started streaming, I obviously I remember the line being used more than once, but I always thought of it as it being Marlon Brando's line.
Yeah, I did
And
too.
he does say it at least once in the film, but it's really Michael says it first, and he also says it a lot of other times too.
Well,
And
it's that great bookend of Michael introduces us to what the phrase means while he's in that state of innocence.
Yeah.
And then his dad says it while he's, being the Don. And then he says it. I was like, dude, you saying it now is so different than the first time you said it. Just the
that's
evolution.
so good. That's so good. But yeah, everybody always quotes it like it's Don, and it's only Don's line. But yeah, you're right. Wow, that's so good.
Yeah, man.
I also want to say that Robert Duvall is
so good.
I think he might. I don't know. I really genuinely love a lot of characters in this movie, but I really loved his character. He's a really, really endearing character.
Yeah.
And he's also super badass.
Yeah.
And I also later on in the film when he gets sidelined.
Yeah.
He obviously doesn't want that to happen, and he, pushes back on it, but he just kind of goes along with it.
Still loyal.
Yeah, he's still loyal. So I don't know. He's a great character.
Yeah, he's so good. And I forgot it was him that carried out the whole horse head thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
That scene is so good. And not even just the horse head, but the dinner before that. Yeah. Such a good scene.
I felt so stupid, y'all. Because obviously that's an iconic thing. But and I remembered that. That was one of the few snapshots that I had in my head from this movie. But I remember that was gonna come up at some point, but he was at the house, is in the stable, and he was showing him the horse, and the whole time I was just like, oh, what a beautiful horse. I
hope nothing bad happens to it.
I didn't even once think about, oh, that's the horse that dies. And literally 5 minutes later, my jaw is on the floor because I was like, wait, no, this is the bedroom. Oh no, that horse. It all came back flooding right then. But what I also, dude, that scene is even more gruesome than I remembered. I remembered the horse, but I don't remember him laying in the blood.
Yeah, dude, it's
that was really, really gruesome.
It looks really realistic too. That's one of those things where it's oh, it's a 70s film. Maybe this wasn't gonna look really good and hold up, but it does really well. I was I felt uncomfortable watching that scene. Gosh,
man.
After Apocalypse Now, I'm like, Coppola didn't really decapitate that horse, did he?
He might have.
Okay, the blood is fresh. Go. Roll it.
Oh man. Werner Herzog type beat.
Yeah.
I guess let's talk some more about Michael.
I love talking about me.
Yeah. Michael's great.
Michael's
could be better. Life is good, but it could be better. Dude, yeah, what you said earlier, the way that the line is used at the start in his innocence, and then it being bookended by him completely descending. I think that's just like a testament to how great his character arc is, how great the writing is for his character. I love that we're introduced to him as like, he's the youngest son. He isn't a part of like the mob business. He, went to college. He's
a war hero.
He's a war hero. Like he is, to go back to the line at the start of the film about loving America, he is like that guy. And so I just love that we're introduced to him as someone who's innocent, and then just seeing the way that he slowly shifts into the state that he's in by the end of the film is so fascinating. And like, honestly, like, can you blame the dude for like what happens to his family? Like, you kind of, it does a good job of like really letting you sympathize with why he's making the decisions that he's making, even though they're like obviously not good decisions, but like within the context of the film, like you're rooting for the guy. You want him to get revenge. You want him to, make the Corleone family the top dog again. And so I think he's honestly just one of the best protagonists, and that's coming from me having not seen the second and third film. So I don't even know where his character goes from here.
It's great stuff. Even in 3, which is by far the weakest, his arc is like
amazing. Great. I'm so hyped to watch those.
Did 3 not even? I feel like I know a lot of people talk down about 3, and I haven't seen it. I haven't seen 3, but did it not also get nominated for Best Picture?
I don't know if it. I will say, even as a big defender of it, I doubt it would deserve it. I think it's really good, but it's not like it's definitely far weaker than 1 and 2.
It was nominated. It didn't win, but it was nominated.
Yeah. See, that feels like it's a Godfather movie. It's gotta be, right?
Yeah.
Or it's just really good. I don't know.
No, it is really good. It is, but I have a hard time thinking it'd be like among like the
I'm genuinely excited to watch the whole trilogy because I've only seen. You know what sucks is the people who showed me the first 2 said don't even bother with the third one, and they convinced me to not watch it, and I wish I would have. I'm like mad that I didn't.
Yeah,
because the thing is, his arc is concluded. Well, I mean, you could really say with each of these, like I think Godfather 2, if there was never a part 3, actually Godfather 2 is it's another great final shot where you're like, ooh, yeah, that's phenomenal. But I think this 3 does offer like a really, really great conclusion to his character.
I'm excited to see it. Yeah, I really am.
I'm so excited to watch the next 2. I'm gonna try and watch part 2 later this week for sure.
Dude, I'm excited for you. I may try to watch it around the same time you do.
Why not tonight? Just do 6 hours of the Godfather in one day.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll stay up until like 5 in the morning watching it.
Yeah, worth it, honestly.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, with Michael, like, I don't know. I really do feel like it might be like, obviously there's like tons and tons that could be in the running for it, and we really are just like splitting hairs just for the sake of picking a number 1 because we got to have our number 1. Like, but if that's the position I'm in, gun to my head, like to me, Michael's arc is like the most compelling cinematic arc, and the intentional distance that he keeps from like the family business, and that you find out that the family business kept from him. Like, I love his last conversation with his dad whenever Vito is just offering him these final pieces of advice, and he's like, I never wanted this for you. And he was like, Senator Corleone. Like that's what he wanted for Michael, is that Michael would be the first legitimate Corleone. And even Sonny, it seems like he's protecting, like he's kind of doing it in a way that every now and then he lets like the sibling jab get in there, but you also feel like he actually does want, like, he's like, Michael needs to keep his distance from all of this.
Yeah.
Which I really like, where like they are brothers who do genuinely love each other.
Yeah, not even just between them, but like I think Sonny's character in general is he cares about his family. Like you see that with his sister, you see that with his older brother, and like even there was that scene when they're having dinner and he's like, no discussing business at the table, but right before that, I'm pretty sure it's his name is Carlo, I think, the husband of his sister.
Well, what's funny is he was just discussing business at the...
but I'm pretty sure Carlo tells his sister, like, shut up, and at the table he's like, hey, don't tell her to shut up. And so like they do a good job of, like, he kind of, he's a hothead, he'll go off, at any given moment, but he's got a heart to him. Like, he really does care about his family. I think they do a really good job of.
I think we can all agree that Carlo is the real villain of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that dinner scene though, because it starts off where Sonny is just straight up talking business at the table, and Connie is like, Adrian, we got Adrian in this movie.
Yes.
But Connie and Adrian, it's the same actress, Michael.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You just saw him with the look on my face, like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Oh my
Talia
gosh.
Shire.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's great. But in that scene, she's like, Pop never discussed business at the table. And like, she's saying that to Sonny, who is just discussing business at the table. And then Carlo is like, I think there's some things I could be doing for the family. And Sonny just hates Carlo so much. He's like, we don't discuss business at the table.
James Caan's so great.
Whenever he finds out that Carlo like hit her again, and he's just got the phone, he's like,
oh my gosh. And I wanted him. You wanted him to go.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's not what happened.
Because the second scene of like the actual seeing Carlo like be hurt, that is a hard scene to watch.
I found it very hard to watch.
Yeah. Like, and it's one of those scenes where thankfully it's not like, because this is a 70s film, it's uncomfortable because they were portraying like the hero, the story, like James Bond or whatever, like being a freak. It's like there's intention behind what's happening in this scene, and it hurts to watch. I hate watching that scene, and I want to be like Sonny and beat the crap out of him.
And seeing him beat the crap out of him with the trash can lid is so it feels so good.
So good.
I love when he rips off his shoe and hits him in the face.
My mom for Christmas got me a Funko Pop that's Sonny with the trash can lid.
Nice.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I do like the way that scene, I mean, it's hard to watch, and I think that is a testament to how well it was done. Because like, of course he's a scumbag. It's not being celebrated in any way, Drew, like you said, but it's also like, she's not just like some weak, like she's fighting. She's really fighting it. And like, and there's points where she gets some jabs in and stuff. And then at some point you feel the desperation because she traps herself in like the bathroom or whatever. And he's got that belt out and you don't see anything, but you feel 100% of the claustrophobic and like there's nothing else she can do, but like, and her yells are so convincing
Yes.
that like I that was a scene. I just got chills, but like the worst kind. Like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it was so well done, but it gives me shivers just thinking about how like helpless she was and how good that scene was.
And the
Yeah.
movie is
Ugh.
aware of the severity of what's happening. I
Yes.
think
Yes.
by
Yeah.
letting them leave the room and holding on an empty room with just the
Yes.
sounds is the movie being like, yeah, this is.
And
Yeah,
it was
I'm
so
really.
effective too.
It honestly makes it even more haunting, but at the same time, I'm really glad that they didn't like move the camera into that room.
Yeah,
Like,
it was like a win-win. Like it made it almost like more painful for us, but at the same time, we didn't have to see it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It could have gotten gratuitous.
yes,
Yes.
like for just no reason, no real reason.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, really well done scene. Really incredibly difficult to watch.
yeah.
So yeah, I hated that guy the entire movie, and I was not to root for murder or anything, but I was happy to see him get justice.
Hey, when it's from the family, it's okay. Capiche?
By the way, this movie does really intense chokes. Like,
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
dude, they're not holding back when he kicks out the windshield, dude.
Oh my word. And the
Dude.
sound design.
and when
is
they
just-
take out the
Ooh.
other guy earlier in the movie, it's the other family that does it. I can't remember what the guy's name is that they get. Oh gosh, I'm forgetting the name.
Oh yeah, and I love him.
Yeah, he was great. But they kind of trap him and they get him, and it looks like his eyes are popping out of his head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
it's
some
Luca
gnarly,
Yeah,
gnarly
Luca
deaths.
Brazzi. Oh, yeah, that
lo-
they really don't hold back on the chokes
Or the horse decapitation.
or
Yeah.
those. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That was such a sad death because I love his introduction, his constant rehearsal of the line. I am glad that I am honored that you have invited. Like,
Yeah,
it's like, oh, what a cute hitman.
and then him trying to like say it, like recite it, but like he's reading his own notes.
Yeah,
Oh, it's so sad.
and you're right that like, I mean, he's no idiot. He's got his goals. He's got everything. But I do feel like the movie establishes that like he has his own genuine like rules and a very sincere sense of like respect and honor, and not just for himself but just that's due, where he like Luca is like stumbling over himself and everything, but I think Vito is genuinely kind of like touched by the sincerity of Luca in that moment. And so, which not to be super spoilery for Godfather 2, but that is kind of a theme of the difference between Vito and because we get our flashbacks with Robert De Niro, which is so good. But just the difference between Vito and Michael and how they run things, and that there is kind of there is a genuine sense of like honor and respect to those who deserve respect kind of thing from Vito.
You even saw that in like, his reticence to get involved with the drug stuff too.
Yeah.
Not totally like, oh, drugs are bad, we shouldn't do that. It wasn't that, but it was like, I don't know, it was almost like we lose a little bit of our class as villains almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Villains used to believe in stuff, in things.
The city deserves a better class of mafia.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I do like that they kind of portray him as like, okay, yeah, he does things, but like he still has a level of respect for like his own family, and like, no, we're not gonna stoop to that level.
Yeah.
But I also think in a lot of ways too, while he's doing that just to like, uphold that like status, in a lot of ways it's almost that he's trying to be better than the other families too. Because you get the sense that like, they are like the family out of the 5.
Yeah.
And so I think there's like a level of that where it's like, you know, he's just trying to be the best family out of them.
Well, and maybe even at the cost though of like the kind of forward thinking where everybody around him is telling him like this is the money of the future. 10
Yeah.
years from now, anybody who didn't jump in is going to regret it.
Yeah.
And yeah, he still gets the sense that like the distastefulness of it is still kind of a factor to him.
Yeah. And like the 50s is kind of like right before the cusp of like it's like kind of the prelude to like the mob dying, right, in history. And so
At the very least changing in a big way.
yes. And so when you see the other families changing, you know, drug trafficking and all that stuff, drug dealing, it kind of I like that it just really fits in well with like the historical context of the time. Yeah. It reminds me a lot of actually both of the Red Dead Redemption games, because those take place like right as the like Old West died.
Yeah. Those like final transitional periods are always really interesting moments in time.
Yeah.
How do y'all? It's your background, Drew. How do y'all feel about the Sicilian escapade in the middle of this movie?
I loved it. I mean,
Yeah.
it was cool to see. I mean, you know, you're talking about with Michael, right?
Yeah. Because just talking about Michael's arc, this is kind of a sequence that's just plopped into the middle of this movie, and I know some people feel like it doesn't fit, but
to me, it's one of those things. Like I could have seen Michael just being happy there forever if it could have happened, and him never coming back and, you know, doing the family crime thing, and him losing his wife in that awful way. I feel like that was the last like straw that broke the camel's back. And so I don't know, I feel like that was needed.
Well, also his like finding out the news of his brother's death too.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, it's just like he kept hearing all this stuff, and it was almost like not only a sense of like revenge kind of a thing, but also a sense of responsibility.
And
Took him back home.
I feel like maybe some guilt too, that like he's
Yeah.
not home while
Yeah,
his family is being wiped out, you know.
100%.
And that is set up even beforehand when Vito is in the hospital and you've got the scene where everybody's in the room and they're calling people and blah blah blah, they're figuring things out, and Michael starts being like, well, maybe I could blah blah blah, and Sonny, in that kind of protective brother thing, is like, no, you don't do that. And he's basically like, Michael, you just be sure to wait here and answer the phone,
right.
you just, there's that sense of like, you're not a part of this, you know, you can't blah blah blah.
Don't get your hands dirty.
Yeah.
Don't get your hands dirty. It ruins the senator thing. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I feel like without that part, I kind of feel like his turn wouldn't have felt as earned. And so, you know, I can only see what people mean if you're just thinking about tone, because I guess there's a tonal difference a little bit maybe, but it's just because he's happy. I guess, I don't know. It
doesn't feel, I don't think it feels like tonal whiplash to me, because we already had the wedding scene established at the beginning of the film. Like we know that, you know,
these people are capable of happiness.
Yeah, they're capable of happiness. And so
yeah,
it doesn't feel out of place to me.
It doesn't for me either.
You know, some might say too that like the romance between him and his wife out there is like rushed, or like you just don't really like get a sense of, I don't know, just the like chemistry between the two of them. But honestly, like it works for me. in the film. Um, since this is an epic, like it just kind of comes with the genre, that, you know, you're gonna have like big stretches of time, you know, like often like you'll have like time jumps between those stretches of time. So like it doesn't really bother me. And like Michael getting married, while important to his character, isn't like as important to like the grand scheme of things, I guess. So having like not as much emphasis on that, just it just works for me.
Yeah, I think it is a maybe surface level odd choice, because it does, like, we are so New York set, and then we're like, now we're gonna spend 25 minutes out of country. He's gonna meet somebody new, marry them, she'll die, and then he'll come back. Like, it feels like almost an episode of something all to itself. But one, I just kind of like that bold decision. We're like, we're in Sicily, we're doing something a bit different. There's also just a lot of beats within this portion that I love. I love the shot of him walking and talking with her, and then the crowd of the little, like, of all the women following them on their walk, and then the bodyguards behind them. So it's just like this whole like parade behind them that can't get like a moment alone before they're married. I thought all of that was really good. But like, just as far as like his character, before he takes off, I think you start to get that sense of Michael's starting to want to be involved. Like, something in him being this close to the family for this long, it's like he's getting the taste for it, and he's feeling drawn to like the family business, to the point to when he's like, I'll take him out. And Sonny's the first guy's like, no, we're not going to do this. And I love like just the bruise they have on his cheek that whole time.
Yep.
But like, the thing is, he loves his dad. He loves his dad a lot. And someone, like, whenever he's talking to his dad and he's like, I'm here, Pop, I'm here. And you can just see a smile across Vito's face that Michael is there with him. And so I love that the motivation to kill them is 100% personal to Michael. Mm-hmm. But I love that he's smart enough that he's able to work his way to a business reason.
Yep.
And that final line when he's like, it's not personal, it's just business. That delivery is also like freaking so god tier to me. But to me, almost the way I see it is like, when he finally commits to the assassination, he kind of then that is his big leap into this world. And the thing that, like, I didn't know what to make of initially was like, he's in a relationship with Kay. He said he'd be gone a year, but he would find her when he gets back. And so that always makes me be like, but you showed up to Sicily and married the first hot girl you found. Like, what? That was the thing that I was trying to figure out. And to me, the way I see it is like, this is his step into the lifestyle that Sonny leads. You know, he beforehand, I think pre-murder, I don't think he would have, but I think that murder like symbolizes like that threshold crossed where he's in it. This is now his life. And when you think about these other kinds of people, it's the lifestyle of, you see you see a thing, you want it, you take it. That's what they have. That guy wants that job, go to the Dawn, he gets you that job. You make him an offer, you get like that. That's what it is. And so I think once he crossed that threshold and went down this path, he went to a new place, saw something he wanted, and set his eyes on it and said, I'm going to marry her because I want to. And I don't think he would have pre-murder. I think that he's entered into the lifestyle of, I see what I want and I take what I want. And I think letting that whole plot spin off of that, to me, is like, again, it's a bold decision to just spend like 25 minutes in Sicily with only one of our main characters
That's exactly how I feel about the opening act of Return of the Jedi. It's a bold idea, and it just sticks.
And it's just so thematically unrelated to absolutely everything.
Shut up.
It's genius in its subversion.
You get it. You get it. Finally.
Speaking of subversions, The Last Jedi.
But anyway, like, yeah, I love the whole Sicily escapades, and he almost lives an entire life there. He gets married and she dies, and then he's like, I'm back. A lot of crap happened, but I'm back.
Yeah.
But I also think before that, though, the actual murder scene to me is like an all-time scene, and it's one of those moments that solidifies like Al Pacino in my eyes, like with no dialogue. When he comes back and he sits down and they continue with their offer, and you just hear the sound of the train getting louder and louder, and he's just, his eyes are shifting, his muscles are twitching. He's just like, you feel the anticipation. His face acting in that like 15-20 second pan in on him is like, this is greatness. Like, this is like all-time greatness. I think it's incredible.
Yeah.
What's amazing is, like, at the beginning of the movie, I almost didn't recognize Al Pacino, not just because he's young, but like because he was so, like, I don't know, that he had something about his performance made me buy into his like goodness and his like innocence. And then as the movie goes on, you're like, okay, I see Al Pacino now. Because I've never seen Al Pacino.
She's got a great ass.
Oh,
another great performance.
We got to cover Heat, y'all. We got to cover Heat.
Yes.
Oh.
There's a lot of Michael Mann films that I love to talk about on the pod, actually.
Thief with James Caan.
I am considering. Yes. I'm considering one.
Last of the Mohicans.
Yeah, baby.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
That's gonna be one of the episodes where we just like say over and over, they just don't make movies like this anymore.
Yeah,
we're gonna say it a lot. I promise.
And then we'll just talk about how incredible that score is. Oh my gosh.
Just for the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you, dude. That's great. I love the explanation that you have of the Sicily stuff. Sicily, right? Sicily.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really, really solid reasoning to me. Also had no idea Diane Keaton was in this. I didn't know that was Diane. I didn't know Kay was Diane Keaton until I saw. I think I had IMDb because I wanted to see some, like, just a couple of people. I usually at the beginning of a movie I'll go like, okay, so who's the composer and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw that Diane Keaton is a character. I was like, what? I had no idea. And I always just think of Father of the Bride for her. So
I've never seen Father of the Bride.
Oh, they're just delightful. They're not remarkable. They're just nice.
Nice.
It's Steve Martin at his most like wholesome, like by far his most wholesome. So, but yeah, I just had no idea Diane Keaton was in this, and she was very Diane Keaton like. I thought she was great in it.
No.
But yeah, I had a thought on the Sicily stuff, and then it's just gone now. So I hope you guys have another thought. I really did. I was literally about to go onto a train of thought, and I just lost it.
I was gonna mention earlier when we were talking about, how Vito was happy to see his son. I love the scene where when he first wakes up, and I'm pretty sure it's when he first wakes up. He asks Sonny where Michael is, and he's explaining like what happened, and then at the very end he's like, Michael killed him. And you could see like the disappointment.
The dream of the senator dies.
Yes,
in his mind in that moment.
Yeah, like that's just like another like just very subtle like bit of performance that Marlon Brando does in this film, like that really sells me on his character. Is just he
Loves
didn't
his
even have to
kid.
say anything. Like he just was disappointed, not in a way, like I don't feel like it's in a way of like he hates his son, but he just hates that he did that. He
That it's
didn't
come
want
to
to.
this.
Yeah, exactly. So
In fact, I think it's kind of clear as the movie goes on that like it feels like he knows that Michael is actually the best one to take up this family
Yeah.
business. I don't want him involved though. But when he is involved, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
You know,
It was never going to be Frito.
definitely not.
no.
That guy wasn't leading anything.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Is that why you're slapping my brother around in public? Dude, if he looked at me with those eyes and like accused me of something, I would probably die of a heart attack on the spot.
Yeah.
Bro, by the way, James, I recognized immediately. Oh gosh, what's the name? The guy that Fredo works for.
Momo.
I recognized him instantly. Do you recognize him from something else?
Only because it's you asking me that. What is he eating a sandwich yelling?
It's the way that he walks and talks. He's the record label, the Playtone executive guy from That Thing You Do. Just
because
as
it was you who
disgusting as
asked me,
ever.
I knew, but
Yep.
wow.
I looked it up because I instantly knew it was him because of the way he walked and talked. Like, and there was something about very familiar about even like the way that he was dressed, like as a casino owner. Like it just felt very much the same. Oh, he's so sleazy in both of those movies.
Mhm.
But I recognized him instantly. I wondered if you did.
No, what a good catch though.
Just another reason to love the film even more.
Exactly.
Oh man. Well, where do we go from here, gents?
Where do we go from here?
I guess. Well, one quick scene that I did think was cool too that I want to give a shout. The stuff in the hospital, I think is incredible. Like tension building.
Oh,
like just the fresh food that nobody's attended to, the empty hallways. That shot of him peering like through over the doorway when he hears somebody coming up the steps is great. And I love that other guy who's showing up just to pay his respects, and he has him like be a bodyguard outside with him.
great.
Like, all of that's so good.
You guys know I just watched the Daredevil series, and I actually kind of feel a little bit of a Daredevil hospital vibe in this. So it feels like Daredevil had some Godfather in it, and I love that.
It surprised me.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Also, I think we have to talk about just the ending, obviously, but like the cutting between the baptism and the murders, and with the music, with the singing,
and the dialogue.
Yeah. Do you renounce Satan and all of his works? I do renounce him.
I do renounce it. And
oh man,
I just got chills. Like all of that was perfection. Like the editing and the just everything. It was just so good.
Yeah.
So satisfying too. You feel like it's kind of a similar feeling I get, except it's more satisfying even than the Count of Monte Cristo. Like there's this like satisfying feeling you want to see these people come to justice, but the way that they do this, it takes you even further, and it takes you like, man, I feel bad that I'm rooting for this, but this is awesome.
Yeah. It is one of the best sequences in
I think it's
film
like
ever.
The greatest montage of all time.
It's so good. Some of the best cross-cutting, like just absolutely incredible. And some of those deaths are like super, super brutal. I think like one thing that you don't see very often from a lot of classic films is like a lot of like shootouts and stuff, or like gunshots aren't very convincing, but in this, like especially in this montage, 1000%. The dude who gets shot in the glasses, I think that was Mo, actually. Yeah.
That's the guy from That Thing You Do.
So I started The Sopranos last year, and there's a scene where they're like, "What are we gonna do? We're gonna kill him." It's like, "Yeah, shoot him through the eye." Mo Green special. I was like,
Nice.
I know it.
Dude, I need to freaking watch that show so bad.
Yeah, it's great.
I love the I just have to go on a quick side rant, but the meme of the character from the show, I have no clue what his name is, but they have Attack of the Clones, like the Coliseum edited in the background, and it's just like, I remember there was like a tweet and it was like, this guy's just straight up from Attack of the Clones, and it's like the most perfect thing ever.
Nice.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm glad you brought up the baptism, because
Dude, and we just watched Rocky. I mean, and that was the greatest montage I'd ever seen until this.
Just, having him
kinds.
Yeah.
I'm so
the
inspired.
recitation of everything. I can do anything. Look at what Michael can do.
Oh man.
Also, and this is a scene that Breaking Bad straight up homages whenever, because there's a scene where Walter arranges the death of a bunch of people by shank in prison, and it's very clearly like Godfather inspired.
Man,
hold on.
I need to rewatch Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
add that to the list of things I need to rewatch. Apparently,
yes. I also need to watch Better Call Saul.
Yes, please. It's so incredible.
I've never seen it.
Kim Wexler is one of the all-time greatest TV characters ever.
It's so weird that character, a show that's apparently so good, was spun off for him. Like, I just never would have guessed.
I was so worried. Going into it, but the show was perfect.
Yeah, because I remember when I heard about it, I was like, really? Out of all the characters?
Yeah.
I mean, he's great, but
he's gonna follow Walter White.
I mean, yeah. I mean, this is not fair.
Yeah.
That's the meme I was talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Incredible.
He looks like an overweight clone.
The gabagool. Oh man.
Oh, Brian says, did anyone read the Mario Puzo source book?
I have not, but I have the Barnes and Noble edition, and I have that on tap for whenever I finish Godfather 3.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And it's so cool. It's got red tipped pages, so when you look at it from the side, it's
nice.
just blood red.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to pick it up sometime soon, because especially like after this rewatch, I gotta read it. Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I've missed anything. I mean, I know there's so much in the movie.
Well, there's the ending, which we haven't.
Yes. Yeah. We need to talk about that for sure.
Yeah. That last, like you were talking about earlier, James, that last shot is just all time. Man.
When are y'all talking about when his family comes back around and then he closes the door?
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
They kiss his ring, and and then they say, what is it? They call him the Don. I don't remember how the line of dialogue
I think they speak Italian. They say almost like it's kind of this is the thing you say to the new Don, almost in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I love how they're calling him Don, and then the camera just pulls back,
and Diane Keaton's face of just like her performance in that whole scene is incredible. Like when Connie shows up and she's screaming and everything, and feels like Michael starts off that scene like not realizing that like Kay is actually bothered, and he's just like, oh, she's hysterical, hysterical. And then he sees her face, and like she actually asked the question. The change between like her complete relief when he says no, like it's like the biggest smile. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go make us a drink. I think we need one, just like joking.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yeah.
Honey. Oh, and then like them coming in and basically initiating him as the Don, and because of the stories that he's told her about his father, I mean, she knows what that means.
Yeah.
And so, it's just brutal.
And
it's brutal.
I love the way that, like, as the camera is pulling back, one of them walks up and like starts closing the door, and it's like, oh, it's such a cool shot.
Because like literally the last shot is the door being closed on her.
Yes.
Like, yes. Oh, it's so good. And just the way, again, Michael, you were talking about the cinematography, just like looking up Godfather cinematography on Google Images. It's just like you're just scrolling through paintings. That last shot of him just leaning on the desk while everybody is flanking him is just, and doing like the frame within a frame with everybody's just outlined by the door frame itself is
so
oh my gosh, legendary.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that it's funny because it's one of those movies, kind of like I was saying earlier, I was just so engrossed in the film. I wasn't thinking a ton about the cinematography while I was watching it. But when you look up Godfather cinematography, it's like, it's okay, so you're just showing me the whole movie, and this is all amazing.
Yeah.
And good shout out to, I was going to say the lighting and the color grading. Good shout out to Whiplash earlier. It has that orange and black, especially the indoor scenes. That orange and black that Whiplash has, it just makes it classy as, like it just makes it so great. But
the Godfather has entered the chat. Don Mitchell, man.
But it's so gorgeous. And again, it's to me, it's one of those like movies that, the cinematography is amazing, but it's never, and I like both. I like both of these kinds. There's some cinematography that is so amazing and it's in your face how amazing it is. And I'm good with that. Like, I feel like that way about a bunch of Denis Villeneuve's movies. Like
Dune 2 was
but when you watch this one, to me, I didn't think about that much. It was just kind of, I was enveloped into the movie and I wasn't even thinking too much about it. It just kind of sucks you in. But that's another kind of greatness, right? It's just, it really makes you, it's not parading itself as, look at this shot. It's not doing that. It's just, no, we're just amazing at lighting and we're doing everything the best way possible, but you're not going to think about it all that much. And I love that. Like, sometimes even music is that way. Sometimes if you don't even notice like the music, that's actually like a good thing, because it's like, oh wow, the music must have really worked because I didn't even notice it. Like it must have, I was just into the movie and it did its job, right? That's kind of what this was for me a lot of the time, until I saw the screenshots and I'm just like, wow, that movie is beautiful.
I think it's one of those films where, because of like just how everything is lit, and like all of the like bland like colors that
sorry.
Actually, I'm just gonna leave it up.
No, that's cinematography. Talk about lighting.
Oh yeah, look at the volume behind that. Man.
I'm sorry.
Continue. But yeah, just because like it's not like this very like vibrant film when you look at the cinematography, even though there are a couple of shots in the film where like there's one in particular whenever it's right before Michael does like the first murder, they're driving on the bridge and they like flip a U-turn. There's like some really nice lighting there where it's like blue and orange. And you get like that really nice contrast, but like a lot of the film like just doesn't have vibrant colors.
Like
And so I
sepia
think
tone.
yeah. And I think like because of that, you don't really think of it in the conversation of like, oh, this is like some of the best cinematography. But when you actually like look at
Listen, I do, pal.
yeah. But when you look at like a lot of the shots, the blocking is just unmatched. Like the one that at the end where he's sitting at the desk, frame within the frame. But there's like so many other scenes. The dinner table scene that I was talking about where Sonny was like, we don't talk about business at the table.
The meeting of the 5 families.
Yes.
is-
It's so good. And even when it's down to like the more like intimate scenes where it's just a few characters, they're placed in like such interesting ways. I think one of my favorite scenes that we didn't even mention that I want to mention real quick is whenever Vito sees Sonny's body. Which that scene in particular, I think that's my favorite part of Brando's performance. Like you can just see the pain in his eyes and in his face. And you know,
I
we
share
obviously
that as sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say like we obviously like get that like iconic quote, but that the quote isn't even what does it for me. It's just his performance there is so good, and I love the way that it's shot too.
Just a total black background.
Yes,
like it is just black behind them.
So good.
I share that quote just as a meme. Like anytime they do something to a franchise that I don't love, just kind of do the "look at how they massacred my boy" thing. And then I rewatch it and I almost feel bad for memeing it just because of how incredible it is in the movie. Because her performance, the pain expression, but just like the quiver in his voice when he says, "Look at how they massacred my boy."
Oh yeah.
Like to hear like almost the vulnerability of like that kind of vocal quiver from like Don Corleone, you know, like Brando, like we barely talked about Brando, but he earns every bit of his iconic status in this movie to me.
Yeah.
I love the scene whenever Tom Hagen has to tell him that Sonny's dead. When he comes down and he's like, you know, I got the quote here just because I think the writing is incredible and Brando's performance is just unreal. When he says, "My wife is crying upstairs. I hear cars coming to the house. Consigliere of mine, I think it's time you told your Don what everyone else seems to know." He says, "I didn't tell Mama anything. I was just about to come up and wake you so that I could tell you." And then just the way it's directed is so freaking perfect because he looks down at his hand holding a drink and he says, "But you needed a drink first."
Yeah.
So like that automatically tells him like you needed a drink before you could come up and tell me whatever you were going to say. And so then he just pauses for a while and then he says, "And now you've had your drink."
Yes.
It's just, oh my God.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that dialogue exchange is my favorite in the entire film.
It's
yeah, it is cinema.
Yes. And the way he's like living both of his lives, like he's living the life of the Don of a family and like a loving father at one time. Like whenever he says Sonny's been murdered, and he just immediate pained expression, fighting tears, and he says, "I want no acts of retaliation. I want," and he's like he's being both all at once, and it's like so incredible.
Yeah.
I like that he's still. I think it says a lot about his character that, you know, him not like just immediately retaliating and have like sending all of his men to go like gun all of them down.
that's what Sonny was doing after the attack
Yeah.
on him, you know.
Yeah. It just goes to show, like, again, like, he just has like that level of respect for him and his family, that he's like, I'm not gonna stoop to that level. I'm not gonna stoop to the level of the other side that, you know, is killing off my family. So great character.
All like the way that continues out in the meeting of the five families, like that peek into like the culture and the inner workings of the mafia is so interesting to me, because like Sonny, like oh no, Michael has killed Tatalia's son, and uh Tatalia has killed Sonny. And so these are two men who have had each other's sons murdered. and they're sitting across from a table from each other. And I love that, like, just the way the mafia works, like agreements are made, and that scene ends with them hugging, and it seems sincere. Like when, like, he says, you know, it will acts of vengeance bring back your son to you, or mine to me, and he's like, I will agree on this condition, or before he gives the condition initially, where he's like, unless my son Michael upon his return should befall some sort of accident, you know, should his car crash, or whatever example is
he gets struck by a bolt of lightning.
yeah. But it says, barring any of that, like, I will agree to all of these terms. And he's like, let the killings cease. And Tatalia has like tears in his eyes, and they come around the table and they hug, and I'm like, this is so, I don't know, it's so fascinating to me that, like, this code allows these two men to like sincerely hug each other now after they've had each other's sons killed.
Yeah. It's so good. One thing, I got some quotes pulled up here, and I just wanted to bring up when we were talking about Michael. I totally forgot to bring this up, but that scene where Don Corleone is laying in the hospital bed and Michael's with him, where he says, like, to me, like, this was the moment where I remember audibly saying, wow, that's a turn. Because when he says, just lie here, Pop, I'll take care of you now, I'm with you now, I'm with you, I was like, oh, he doesn't just mean like in this moment, like he's and then his dad cries right after that, and that cry has a lot of levels, and like he's crying because he doesn't want that, but he's deeply moved by it as well. And like, there's so much there. And I just remember that being such a moment. So I'm glad I was looking at these quotes, because I forgot about it until now. But that was, to me, the moment where he was like, no, I'm in the family business now.
Yeah. I'm here. Yeah. I love their relationship with each other.
Yeah.
Like,
it's great. Sorry, go ahead.
No, what were you going to mention?
I was just going to say, even that scene where they're like talking about, you know, his kid, and
that's where I was going to go, that scene.
Classic father-son having to talk about the kids kind of conversation. It's just, it's real family convos.
Because Vito is super like, Vito cares. He wants to know, you know? And like, I love whenever he's like 3 years old and he's reading the funny papers, and Vito's like, he's already reading the funny paper. Like, he's so impressed by it. Like, I love that. And there's a moment you talk about, like, there's these moments where it's like, that was the right musical decision. There was no greater decision to be made whenever they're talking. And it's whenever, I believe it's right when Vito starts saying, like, I never wanted this for you, I wanted you to blah blah blah, because he's basically, it's out in the open now, like, yes, you are the Don, you are doing this. And right as he starts acknowledging that, like, that the Godfather's theme just starts playing through the rest of that conversation, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's so freaking good. And I love that even like just before his death, he's like saving Michael whenever he's like the first one to come to you. He is the traitor. And then of course at the funeral, the guy comes to him and he's like, I got a meeting with Barzani or I was about to say Bargatze. That's Nathan Bargatze.
Bagazzi,
Barzini.
you son of a.
I don't know what you want. It wasn't me. But yeah, whenever like his last exchange with his son is like him giving the advice of like, yeah, whoever comes to you, he is the traitor. And then, oh, what's his name? And
Bart
it stinks
Simpson.
because, yeah, exactly. But it stinks because he's one of like the older guys that I like, or I'm like, this is the kind of like guy that you just want around you, giving you advice. But he comes up to him and he's like, you know, they want another meeting with you and blah blah blah, and they're like, oh, it's you. That sucks. And Tom Hagen is like, I always thought it would have been so and so. He's like, nah, he was never smart enough for this. But and then the actual last scene with Vito is incredible.
So good.
The direction in that scene is like,
Oh,
just
it's so good.
bonkers.
No music whatsoever.
Yeah.
At least
And what
for
a
most
way
of it.
to like
Yeah.
put you through a roller coaster of emotions there, because you're like, oh, this is so peaceful, and
I knew something bad was about to happen.
Yeah.
It didn't fool me for a second.
no,
I was-
but like, but still, like even when you know what's gonna happen, like it's still just such a wholesome
It is.
scene.
He's a wholesome guy, Drew.
Yeah, he is.
In some ways,
In
Yeah.
some ways, he is.
Business aside.
He's business.
yeah, just that way, like just chasing him around and letting him chase him, and just like all of like the kind of like there's no sense of like, and I don't mean this in a bad way, and I was gonna say there's no sense of dignity, but that's not the word I'm looking for. There's no sense that he's above getting chased around by his grandkid, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
putting the orange peel in his mouth and letting him chase him around and like pretending to be a gorilla, like making like silly monkey noises and running around the plants and stuff. It's like, this is where his heart's at. Like,
Yeah.
this is what he loves. And I love that about him, that he's like, he's gonna like stoop and be silly with his grandkid because that's what he loves to do.
Yeah.
Oh, and I sat there at the when that scene was going on, and when he collapsed and the grandson just like thought he was joking around. I was like, oh, this is painful, because like, and I don't even know if the grandson is old enough to be traumatized by this, because I don't think he knows the severity, at least not at first. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things like, how old are you when you actually understand what death is? And like, but like just the way he runs up to, he thinks he's playing around or whatever, and then he definitely gets the idea that something's wrong, but he just kind of runs away, like not crying or anything. He just runs, and I guess he's going to find someone. But it's so, I was like, gosh, this could be so traumatizing. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Oh, it's breaking my heart.
Also, having him run off screen and then just holding on the shot of the body out in the garden, and you just highlighting like the wind and the bugs chirping and the just like,
yeah, so good.
Incredible direction.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So this movie's okay. I give it a 3 out of 5.
It's a 1.5 out of 5.
Oh.
Love and Thunder is better.
Real quick, there's a comment that Brian left earlier that I was curious what you guys were at with this. But for me, I'm only missing, at least from like his like more notable films. I'm only
and the
missing...
question for the listeners.
Oh yeah. That's my bad. Brian left a comment. What are some of your biggest blind spots in Marlon Brando's filmography?
Very many.
For me, the ones that like I'm missing that are like more on the notable side. I haven't seen A Streetcar Named Desire.
I haven't seen
really
that
want to. I've heard it's great.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
And then I also haven't seen One-Eyed Jacks, which is the film that he directed, the Western, which is on Criterion.
And it
So that's
inspired
really cool.
David Lynch, which is why they go to One-Eyed Jacks in Twin Peaks.
I didn't even make that connection. That's incredible. There's always there's always a Twin Peaks reference that needs to be made. Danny DeVito is the Don.
Dude, that would go hard.
Danny DeVito as Don and Michael Cera as Michael.
Michael Cera in this kind of movie, I can't even imagine.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I have so many blind spots for him too. Thankfully, I've seen a lot of his iconic ones. I've seen this one. I've seen Apocalypse Now, and I've seen, him as Jor-El and Superman. I've seen a lot of those big ones, but I haven't seen Streetcar Named Desire. That's probably the big one that I would say I should see next, but I don't even know. I'm sure there's other
On
ones.
the Waterfront. Watch On the Waterfront.
It is incredible.
Okay.
He basically invented the way like we act now in that movie. Like he basically invented naturalism like on the screen.
He invented acting.
Basically. No, but they're really like I was reading something where like James Dean and Marlon Brando like literally and irrefutably changed acting with like 3 movies, with Streetcar Named Desire and On the Waterfront for him, and then Rebel Without a Cause and East of Eden with James Dean. Like after those came out, that marks the shift between like the kind of big acting of like 1940s and 1950s and the acting that we recognize now is because of their performances in those movies. So
wow,
he's of those I've actually only seen, of those 4 movies I've only seen On the Waterfront, but Marlon Brando is like all time. He gives an all-time phenomenal performance in that. It's like
it's fantastic. I think you'd definitely love it.
We should do a month sometime where we cover the turning point in acting in cinema. We cover all 4 of those really in a month.
That'd actually be great.
That would be awesome.
I'm not kidding. I think it'd be awesome.
I'm absolutely down for something.
I'd fill like 3 blind spots with that, so that'd be perfect for me.
Yeah.
I guess, is there any anything at all that you guys missed that you wanted to bring up? I feel like, at least for myself, we covered a lot of the talking points that I wanted to talk about.
I'd probably have more to bring to the table if I watched it again. There's just so much and it's so long.
Yeah.
But I think
at the same time,
we covered a lot.
At the same time, it's like also hard to talk about it because it's like we're not bringing anything new to the table. We're just saying it's great because it's great, and we're gushing about it because
we're just glazing this movie like everyone does.
Yeah, exactly like what Curry said at the start of the stream.
I want to give one last shout to the score just because I think it's good enough to get a shout on the way out. But like the 2 main themes, like the main Godfather theme and then the love theme that plays in Sicily, like those are like
gorgeous,
absolutely all-time perfect.
Yeah. I also love the track and the score. I couldn't find it on the official score on Spotify. Maybe I just like, I don't know, just didn't hear the part that it gets to, but I love the track whenever Michael is walking around near the start of the film. You just like see him walking in like a alleyway, and it's, I don't know how to describe it, but it's got such a vibe to it. It's like kind of like that big band.
I was gonna say it's big bandy, right?
Yeah. I don't know what it's called on the score, but I need that track.
Maybe it's that artist that Vito helped. What's his name?
Yeah. I can't remember what his name was. Yeah.
Dean Martin, but not Dean Martin.
Exactly, yeah. Man. But yeah, no, I am.
Johnny Fontana. Is the
There we go.
Yeah.
Hannah Montana.
yeah, exactly.
um, yeah, it's the best of both worlds. That's the song.
Yep.
Where can I get that track?
Exactly.
No, I loved this. I can't wait to watch the next two. I'm just gonna do it for pleasure because we're not covering them. I mean, maybe, maybe. I'm sure we will at one day.
At some point for
Yeah.
sure.
But I'm excited to watch them just for my viewing pleasures. But this is good. I've been needing a push to watch this again.
Same.
Because I've always intended on it. I bought the trilogy on Blu-ray, not DVD.
Hey,
I bought the trilogy on Blu-ray, and it's the Coda version. I've always heard get the Coda version. I don't even
I've
know what
only
that
seen
means.
the Coda version.
So yeah, which really just affects the third one, right? I
yeah,
think.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just the third.
But I got the whole trilogy and it came like that. So I'm excited to get to it and to finally watch the third one, which I was told don't even bother. It's trash. I'm sure it's not trash.
It's very good.
Talk to him. Talk to him.
Coda.
Mitchell says Coda undeserving Oscar. Dude, shut up.
No. Let him talk. Let him cook.
No. Coda
I do
is
love that
wonderful.
film, but Best Picture, nah, man.
Okay, what should have won? I don't remember what else came out that year off the top of my
Nightmare
head.
Alley.
I mean, it was
Nightmare
COVID year.
Alley is a banger.
Do you think that should have got Best Picture?
Nightmare Alley, dude.
Over
I would have
Coda?
cried.
Yeah.
I love Nightmare Alley a lot. What else was that year?
Okay, well, yeah, I would have been fine if Dune would have
Dune.
won.
Oh yeah. Over Coda, yeah.
The
But
Green
also over
Knight.
everything else.
Not that one ever had a chance, but
I still need to watch that.
So good.
Coda's great though. Don't slander Coda. Of course, he's not really slandering it.
Well, I guess we should go ahead and give our official rating.
Whoa, I wonder what we all put.
To no surprise for anyone, it's 5 stars from James, 5 stars from me, 5 stars from Michael, and the Banter Fodder official score, the average
4.5
stars.
It actually averages out to 15 stars out of 10 or out of 5. So yeah,
there's one correct rating for this movie.
I think Curry has it at 4.5.
I think Gabe has it at 4.5.
Oh no, I think Gabe has it at 4.
No,
he's
got
someone has it at 4 that I was looking at. And then
anyone who has it at 4, anyone who has it at anything other than 5 stars needs to be fired.
Dude, someone on that follows me on Letterboxd has it at 2.5 stars, and I was like,
their license to watch movies should be revoked.
Their license to have a Letterboxd account should be revoked.
Exactly. Yeah,
this is where I start talking about
movie theaters.
All right.
Yeah. Oh.
But yeah, there's no like argument to be had. The Godfather is undisputably great, and if someone calls it the best film ever, you can't. I don't think that you could fault them for making that statement. Even if it's not their personal favorite, like James was saying earlier. But yeah, this movie
in a Lord of the Rings-less world, it is easily my favorite movie.
What a sad world.
What about
I know.
What about a Godfatherless world?
That would be sad too. But I guess I wouldn't know it was sad.
Yeah, you'd still have a lot of great films.
I wish they made The Godfather.
What could have been? Oh man. Well, anyways, though, thanks for everyone who tuned in to the chat. Seeing some familiar faces with Slasher Fred, Curry, Mitchell, Brian, Stone, Ryan, and Gabe had very brief appearances. but their opinions don't matter, so it's okay.
Well, Ryan gave it a compliment, so his opinion does matter. He said it's the
His
best
opinion
news.
still doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, great seeing all of y'all in the chat. So thanks for tuning in. And for everyone who is listening on the podcast feed, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, so you can join in on our live streams, or just, watch the live streams after they're uploaded on YouTube. Make sure you go support your local theaters. Oh, also, before I forget, join our Facebook group, Banter Fodder, a film and television discussion group. So you can stay up to date whenever we're getting ready to do these live streams and join in on all of our fun discussions in there. But yeah, make sure you go support your local theaters. Go watch Minecraft this weekend, please. We need it. We need it so bad. We need that W. Also, shout out, go Duke. Go Duke.
Go Gators. Go Gators.
Nah.
F.
All right. Anyways, though, go watch Minecraft. We'll see you guys next time.
Oh.